Hello aspirants, this is me Yasmin Gill, and in today's video we'll be covering the PIB summary of 3rd of April. So do follow all these summaries for various months on this particular link, or you can directly search PIB April and there you can come across the English course. You can just open it and follow, plus you can also rate and review the course. Also do enroll for the course so that you get the automatic updates of the same. So let's begin. Under culture, we have a very famous horse show in India, that is Delhi Horse Show. So Delhi Horse Show, let's study about it. See, it has been in existence ever since the earlier part of 20th century. While it was discontinued in 79, it was again revived with the efforts of Delhi Polo Club. It is the only equestrian show in India that offers such a wide range of events, and that too for different age categories. Right now, the body which conducts this event is Army's Polo and Riding Club. So that is about Delhi Horse Show. Next important news item is a National Center for Excellence for Animation, Visual Effects, Gaming and Comics. It is to be set up at Mumbai. So easy to remember, Mumbai is already the film hub of India. So such a center is coming up at Mumbai. Then we have under society related issues, India Rankings 2017. So last year also we came up with India Rankings in order to rank our educational institutions. So this year again, second time we have come up with India Rankings. Which is the institution which has bagged the first position in it? It is Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Also, which are the categories under which rankings are given? Universities, education, engineering institutions, management institutions, pharmacy and general degree colleges. Anything additional this year? Yes, this is 1 point additional here. In order to study the research impact, we are trying to study the research impact with the help of number of cited papers. So we are basically ranking the institutions depending upon how many papers they have cited, how many research papers have come up from a particular institution. Next we have Wheel of Social Justice, a very important article from Indian Express. And why is this in news? Because government is trying to come up with a new commission, very important commission, National Commission for Socially and Educationally Backward Classes. So this is to come up in place of National Commission for Backward Classes. So now we are specifying it to socially and educationally. Do not confuse it with economically. It is socially and educationally backward classes. So is it a new demand that the government has agreed to? No, it was a long-standing demand, and even the Parliamentary Committee on the Socially and Educationally Backward Classes, it also recommended that such a commission should be formed separately. But the very usefulness of such a body, it will depend upon what functions are delegated to it. So let's understand the functions that were covered till now. Till now, the National Commission for Backward Classes, it held these functions. Firstly, a very important function is, see, lists are formed of backward classes, right? Now, in order to include certain class in it or exclude certain class in it, that function was performed by National Commission for Backward Classes. Second function, it acted as an advisory body whereby it gave its advice to center regarding the inclusion and exclusion. So this advice was ordinarily binding on the central government. Third power, it had the power of civil court as well. And fourth, it should be mandatorily consulted by center while revising such lists. So this was the main, I would say, the domain area of working of National Commission for Backward Classes. So how is the current commission which is to be formed different? It is different because it will be given an additional power. Additional power of what? Additional power of grievance redressal. And people point out that this is a very important power that is to be given to the new commission. As per Venkaiah Naidu, even a new article in Constitution will come up. That is Article 342A. Not yet come up, but it will come up as said by Venkaiah Naidu. So as per this article, if you want to include any class or exclude any class from this particular list, you have to take parliamentary approval before that, so that a proper transparent mechanism is followed. What else could be done, or what else is needed to make this commission more fruitful? See, first thing you can do is, this commission's job is not just restricted to inclusion and exclusion of classes. It should focus on the holistic development of every community, so that every community, it is brought at par with the socially advanced castes. Second thing, it should not just advise center regarding the inclusion and exclusion only. It should also advise center and states regarding the implementation of schemes for these classes, progress monitoring, etc. Third, while the existing composition should continue, which is very well thought of, but what could be done is, we should be framing proper rules. So there should be a objective selection of these members. These members should not be politically linked, and the selection procedure should be specifically mentioned in the either rules or articles, so that there is no subjectivity involved. Finally, in the membership of this commission, we must try to include members from socially and educationally backward classes, so that it is an inclusive body. Finally, we could set up presidents by appointing chairpersons from such classes. And next thing we could do is we could keep one of the members from religious minority as well. And lastly, what can be done is we must categorize these classes into backward, more backward, most backward, and extremely backward, so that appropriate focus is given, and thereby consequently we could come up with a sub-quota system as well. So these are the things which could be done to make the commission even more fruitful. But what are the issues that are feared? See, first issue which is feared is that certain classes which are mainly socially advanced castes, what they could do is these castes could use their vote bank politics power and their muscular agitations to come up in the list of socially and educationally backward classes. But otherwise, they might not be socially and educationally backward. Already they are socially advanced castes. So this is one issue which is feared by everyone. Second issue, if you want to compensate poor and unemployed, do you remember when we began with this article, I told you that this is not for economically backward, this is for educationally backward. So supposedly you want to contribute to classes that are economically backward. You could do that by various other mechanisms. For example, scholarship provision, educational loans, and reservation should not be used as the only solution to everything. So this is the whole analysis of the new commission coming up. What are the questions that you could think upon? These are not actually properly framed questions. These are just open topics given to you. One is, what is the need of such a commission? Second, reservation for economically backward. Should that be done or should that not be done? And most importantly, see, this commission was set up for educationally backward. Is there a need of reservation as a solution for educationally backward? If you're talking of compensating the economically backward by various other measures apart from reservation, could not the same be done for educationally backward as well? We could compensate them by giving, say, grace marks, educational facilities, etc. Is reservation the solution for educationally backward? So do think upon all these questions. You could also write an answer by framing an appropriate question out of these. Finally, we come to National Conference on Autism. So we have been studying about this disease in the PIB MCQs as well. So this conference was organized by National Trust that takes care of multiple disabilities. This trust comes under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and the conference was organized in collaboration with AIMS Delhi. So firstly, what is the cause of autism? Two causes are thought of. It could be genetic or it could be even from environmental factors. Symptoms, primarily the crux of the matter is that it leads to impaired communication. Now various other symptoms you could study from here. Finally, there is currently no cure for autism. And United Nations General Assembly, in order to bring awareness regarding the disease, it had designated 2nd April as the World Autism Awareness Day. Then we have under economics, we have African Development Bank. So it is obviously for the economic and social development of African countries, with its headquarters located at Ivory Coast. So it held its annual meeting recently, and the theme of the meeting was Transforming Agriculture for Wealth Creation in Africa. Under security related, we have a very small snippet. It's old news. It was just mentioned, so we'll be revising it, not that important. See, India was one of the few countries that sent an all-women police battalion in a UN mission in Liberia. And this mission was from 2007 to 2015. Finally, we had these MCQs from today's session. One is related to fuzzy fibers. This was in news. Then about the GST regime related updates. Finally, about the Bharat state standards. And we have about the new income tax rules. So you could follow all these MCQs in the separate course, either in English or in Hindi. Do rate and review the course. Any sort of feedback, please mention that in the comment section. Also recommend these lessons to your friends as well. Thank you so much.